Today we're going to talk about resumes. So we're going to cover the basics today. We're using the acronym RESUME, original, I know, so that you can cover all the key things that you need to and make sure that your resume is looking as good as it can. R is for relevant. Make sure that what you're including in your resume is relevant to the job you're applying for. Now that may mean that you need to really read their job advertisement, what the key responsibilities of the job you're applying for are, as well as any selection criteria or eligibility criteria that they've got detailed in the ad. Make sure that your resume then reflects those skills and attributes that relate to the job. E is for employment history. Now, the bare minimum that you want to include for your employment history are the dates that you were employed in a specific job, the job title you had, your employer, and the key responsibilities that you had with that position. Now, looking back again, we want to make sure that all of the key responsibilities that you include are relevant to the job role that you're applying for. You may also want to include key achievements that you attained during that position, any awards that you received, that sort of stuff. It's all good and it all goes in your employment history. S is for study. This is where we include any qualifications that we've attained, certificates, diplomas, statements of attainments, tickets, whatever, licenses, whatever you want to call them. This is where you include them. Now, as a minimum, you should include the full title of your course or license, ticket, certificate, the institution where you achieved it with, the date that it was achieved. Now, I know a lot of people don't include the date, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to provide copies of those if they are relevant anyway, so your potential employer will still see them. Some courses, licenses, tickets expire as well, so more importantly, they will need a date to be listed. And if you did a major or minor, you might want to include those as well. U is for uniformity. Now, one key thing you really need to think about is your format consistent across your entire resume? So that includes font, line spacing, margins, all of those sorts of things. We just want to make sure that they are consistent across the pages of your resume. Not only is this visually appealing, but it also makes your resume easier to understand. M is for minimal. It's important that your resume is concise and efficient and isn't hundreds of pages long. Your potential employer shouldn't need a bookmark when reading your resume. Usually 4 to 6 pages is sufficient, and if you are applying for a job role that requires more detail than that, then often they'll require a selection criteria where you'd be providing that on top of your resume as well. And finally, the last E is for email and all of your other contact details. So as a minimum, you need to include your email address, a phone number, most people prefer a mobile these days, your full name, as well as your address, just so people can get an idea of how they can contact you if they need to. All right, now you've got your resume basics done. Your resume is relevant, it includes an employment history, your study is listed, it's uniform and your formatting is spot on. You have kept it to a minimal so that your potential employers don't have to read a novel about your life, and you've included your email address as well as your basic contact details. Now, if you want to add those fancy bits and pieces, then you can. So things like skills and attributes, professional memberships, those sorts of things, this is where you would add them now. Just make sure you go back to those simple rules all the time before you add anything. Good luck with your job hunting, and if you'd like someone to proofread your resume or you'd like to talk about your resume and job application details further, then don't hesitate to contact us as well at findyourpath.com.au.